So can you explain that? And yeah, are there real estate commandments that you live by?
Yeah, there are. And the number one is make your money going in. So I gave you a little hint about public-private partnerships. So rumor has it that Hudson Yards, before the pandemic, related was up $3.5 billion on land value alone, and that gave some resources to buy the Dolphins. So that's what rumor has it. But so imagine now, again, if you control the property, you fix the price, and you go 3 years down the line. Remember the billion-dollar asset I told you about, how $200 million a year to carry it. So if the value didn't go up at all, you're up, $600 million if you didn't have to pay that, right? So the public-private deals I like the most because I can control. The price, number one, is not the sole determining factor, and so we have to be smart enough to figure out how to give people something more than price. Two, you pay when you're ready to start putting the land to use and not before. And three, you don't take entitlement risk. So I like to make my money going in. So I take risk, but they're very controlled risk. And I like the public-private space because it allows me to make my money on the land value. So historically, throughout my career, I've always looked to make sure that the day I'm committing to the deal, it's profitable, and that I don't have to ride the market up. I'm insulated, and so make your money going in. Look to get the best value. Anyone, well, not anyone, but most people, it doesn't take a lot of ingenuity if you have cash or access to capital to go pay more than anybody else. And in a hot market, that's what you have to do in order to control a piece of property in the private sector. So you got to figure out how to do that. And I do it through public-private projects, or I take entitlement risk. I take more complicated deals and then say, give me time to make your deal uncomplicated and I'll pay you more money. And so that's the number one principle is there. And then the second one is to think big. To be uncomfortable. I had to stop listening to all my relatives. I had to stop listening to my mother, as well-intended as she was. It's because they're trying to protect me. And I wasn't really interested in being protected. I was interested in excelling, and so I had to get way out of my comfort zone. But I would say that the number one thing, make the money going in.
Okay, valuable lesson. So we obviously talked about the barriers that you face here in New York trying to develop. We know what you've done in D.C.